Hey guys, welcome to the next installment of at STM LLC here on YouTube. So today's topic one that has me a little excited because it's like one of my favorite things in the world. Today we're going to be talking about massage as it relates to flight crews. Now I know in the more recent weeks that flight crews have a little more extra um, baggage, so to speak. They have little extra baggage because planes have been coming out of the sky, planes have been delayed, planes have been catching fire, and with those things coupled with the things we're about to share, um, they have a really tough job right now. So shout out to all my flight crews. This particular video is inspired by, I don't know if you know him here on YouTube. His name is Captain Steve, and he has like the best outro to anything I've ever seen in my life. He's like, I'm Captain Steve, fly safe. Like, that is my guy. He teaches you so much about like airplanes and flight and travel. So if you haven't checked out his YouTube page, I suggest you go and check that out. Also, if you haven't taken the time, I would ask that you like, subscribe, and share these videos if you or anyone you know could use the information. Mostly subscribe because it helps me out a great deal, but any of them or all of them kind of work in tandem. So let's go ahead and dive into massage and flight crews. So pilots, co-pilots, flight attendants, these are the people who make up our flight crews. I mean, and they have a job that a lot of people want. Imagine getting paid to fly around the world into different destinations and just be nice to people along the way. Our flight crews, um, they have a very seemingly easy job, but with the amount of training that it takes, with the amount of preparedness that it takes, with the amount of awareness that it takes, it's not a very easy job at all. And then you're dealing with the public. So if you have a flight of 100 people or 200 plus people, you're dealing with all of those personalities all at once. And you have to keep this smile on your face, and you have to keep all of the training that you received in your mind so that if something unfortunately is to go awry, you are right there and you're understanding what has to happen and when, so that everybody, including yourself, stays safe. So, with all of those conditions on you already, you then have all of the body stuff that goes on with you. So, with pilots, they're up in the cockpit and they're up in that flight deck and they're taking off at like extraordinary speeds. And as soon as they hear like V1 and rotate, they get to take that plane up into the sky. That puts a lot of force on your body, and particularly on your back, on your chest, on your legs, like on your arms, just even getting like the controls, making sure that you can see. It puts a little bit of strain on your eye muscles and whatnot, so that you making sure that you have clear passage into the blue horizons. Those same forces, I mean, like they have that same effect on the flying public because we're also going up into the sky with the pilots, but they do it as a profession. So every take up and touchdown, like we may have a flight, one flight, or maybe even two flights for that day, but they can fly a couple different legs of flights at any given time, and it puts a lot of force on the body. I know upon landing, like they have that luckily the seats should have some good shocks, but if they don't, they haven't like to have that force that's put on their low backs, on their legs, and can develop things like DVT, deep vein thrombosis, um, and a couple other conditions actually, like just lower back pain, sciatica, deep vein thrombosis, knee pain. And those are, if whether you're a flight attendant or whether you're a pilot, those things still apply. It's not a very easy thing that happens on the body. I know with flight attendants in particular, they're standing up on the flight and they're on their seats, and like let's say like there's a really good amount of turbulence and they're actually sit back in their seats, and like they may have some feelings about what's going on too, but they're sitting there and they're doing this no matter what the plane is doing, their tease, and that has to be very hard on them in particular. So if you haven't been particularly nice to your flight crews, start being a little nicer to them because they go through a lot more than we understand. um, Flight attendants, both male and female, they have to stand on their feet, and shoes are just uncomfortable, period. So you have like the shoes that males have to wear. It could like kind of cut off the foot just a little bit. Female flight attendants are in heels, and for me personally, I know that heels are 2 hour long shoes. After 2 hours, I am ready to kick those things off. Honestly, after a good day of wearing them for probably like an hour, I'm ready to come in the house and kick them off, or take some sandals with me, or take whatever comfortable shoe there is to take. And it's not like they can do that as a part of their profession. They're not sitting down. They're not able to take those shoes off, and as a result, You have pressure that's put on their legs, that's put on their feet. If they are helping passengers with bags and overhead bins and closing things down and doing counts, the repetitive motion on their head, neck, and shoulders is another thing that they're experiencing. All the repetitive motion things that they do just to make sure that, we're comfortable as a flying public. So again, be nice to your flight crews. There are a couple different things that can be done just if you're a flight crew member, a couple different exercises and things that can be done for you in particular, especially like when you are like taxiing down the runway and you're finally in your seat, taking that time to sit up straight, get your head, bring it to your shoulders, stretch your neck out, making sure that you have your shoulder that you can bring down and bring up and bring down, bring your head over to stretch out those muscles along your head and neck so that the repetitive motion that you get, heck, that even felt good to me just now. This kind of sitting up straight and doing my head, it has a difference. And I'm like, if it had a difference for you, if you felt anything, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you have like shoulder rolls that you can do while you're sitting in your seat, again, take the time to do that while you're sitting in that seat, while the buckle seatbelt signs are still on, while everybody's still seated. You may not think you have enough time to do it, but you're sitting there anyway. And I understand you may have your own checklist and you may have your own thing that you have to do, but if you can take like that 15 seconds, 30 seconds that you have to sit there, take the time to do the exercises. It goes over really, really well for you guys. Let's see, some like an upper trap stretch. So taking the time, you sit upright, you put your hand on your head, do one head towards the shoulder. If you can bring your arm behind your back, and then on that same side, so if your left arm is behind your back, you want to take your head and bring it to your right so that you're stretching out the traps, and then switch off sides and making sure that you're getting those stretches in. If you can take the time to take your arm and stretch your fingers out and getting all of the muscles that are here along your forearms so that it gives you a little bit more space after you, because like you may pick up a bag but you have no clue whether that's a 10-pound bag or a 40-pound bag, and just because it fits in the size parameters, we'll put anything in the bag for the amount of space that we need to save. So you're picking up bags of varying weight, and that could put a lot of stress on your arms, making sure that you're taking and stretching them out. Stretch out your fingers and do this here. And I mean, like, it works well for flight crews. I mean, if you sit at a desk, some of these same exercises may apply, but this one is particularly for flight crews. You have some other exercises. You have piriformis stretches once you get to your hotel that you can do. A cat-cow stretch, again, once you get to your hotel, because I know I probably wouldn't look at it twice because I know you're stretching, but you might not want to be in the aisle just kind of doing a cat-cow and stretching out and just having you're in, hi, how are you? I'm just going to sit here and do my stretches now. Like, that's probably not going to go over well for your bosses in particular. But there are a lot of different stretches that we can do. I'm going to put a different video up just for the other stretches that you guys can do once you get back to your hotel, just because I feel as though it's something that's really important for you to do just for your bodies in particular. And if nothing else, you can do those stretches as well as get a massage. I don't understand why massage is kind of like a standard part of your package of things that you can get as a flight crew member, because by the time you get done standing on your feet, by the time you get done assisting, maybe some belligerent passengers, by the time you get done dealing with the public in general, it can be a very stressful thing. And that stress doesn't even have to come as a means of a direct physical stress. It can be the fact that you are thinking about it and it's stressing you and you can't say anything and you have to have this smile on your face and everything in the back of your neck is just tightening up like this, when all you want to do is have one of those little mini bottles that you may have sitting in the galley. Like, I'm not really sure about how everything works in that capacity, but I know that if I had to deal with people and they were stressing me out and I couldn't scream and I couldn't do anything, and it'd be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and have this bottle. But that's probably just me. Not just joking, but I mean, like, if you're thinking about it, even jokingly, like, sometimes dealing with the public is not very easy at all. So making sure that you take care of yourself is of utmost importance. One, like, yeah, you know what? I was gonna go ahead and go into a couple more things, But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up a video specifically with the stretches and everything that I was talking about for flight crews. So if you are a flight crew person, just look for in the future the videos just for you guys. And if you want to come and check back and say, hey, Cece, did you put up that video yet? Because I may not even put it here on this particular platform, but I'll let you know when it is ready. This is CC Rex. I don't have an ebook for this particular one because I want to put up videos specifically for those flight crews and those who are, you know, family members, friends, associates of people who are flight crews. You can then go ahead and direct them to the video. So again, CC Rex at STM LLC here on YouTube. Do know that I understand you and I'm a whole champion for you. Take care and I'll see you guys in the next video.